Hey there. I was going to put this up a bit earlier, but well, extenuating circumstances made sure that I wouldn't be able to record anything until now. So, well, here's the response to your response, which was to a response to the response. The discussion goes on. It's just that it's a good one. Well, let's just get this out the way. You gave me your name, so I guess I should give mine. It's only fair. My name is Marco, and the name that I go by on YouTube, Sword Sage, is actually one that I've gone by on a couple of other places, including on my MSN Messenger name. It's more something that I'm trying to aspire to rather than something that's a direct description of me. And I actually used that title way before I found out that Dungeons and Dragons used that for the name of a character class, but it's neither here or there. But yeah, it's like I've said before in other videos, I take Chinese martial arts, and the sword is my favorite weapon to practice with. So, and then plus, as you already have guessed, I'm into philosophy and discussing things like politics and life itself. So, sword, sage, put that together. That's it. Yeah, nothing big. But yeah, my name's Marco. So, you gave me your name. So now we're, it's more of a formal thing. I did this like, informal title. So yeah, that's cool. Enough of that. You focused more on education with your response, and that's cool. I can see that's a pet peeve of yours. It's also been a major pet peeve of mine. I don't think I didn't have exactly the same experience as you as far as realizing the farce that is public education, as well as even in some cases private education as well. But I did have some similar experience. Not to the sense that I've been thrown to the principal's office, for basic things, but there were a few things that were exposed. I became keenly aware of the discrimination between people who actually have a brain opposed to those who didn't. I first became aware of it in 4th grade. I was getting inklings of it in other grades, but it really hit home from 4th grade on. I had been transferred from one Catholic school to another. My parents thought that the other Catholic school they would bring me to was a better one. Turned out they were wrong, but it's neither here or there. When I was brought in, I just happened to have showed up just when they were about to do a reading assessment course. Now, as I said before, my parents had taught me to read before I'd even reached school. Before I was in kindergarten, I was already reading books. I don't think I was reading novels, mind you, but I was reading like young adult novels. So anyway, this was consistent with me all throughout school. Whenever I took any type of assessment test, particularly a reading one or an English one, I always did far beyond the grade level I was supposed to be at. So the same thing happened here. And even though I didn't tell anybody about this, I don't know whether the teacher spread it around or how it found out, but all the kids found out that I had the highest grade in the class. And that's how it started. From that point on, I became a target, simply because I was the brain. And my morale slipped, my grades slipped, simply because I dreaded going to school and wanted nothing to do with it, because I knew every time I'd go there, I'd be going through hell. Kids did whatever they could to torment my ass for no reason other than the fact that I just didn't see eye to eye with them. I wasn't into the same crap that they were in. I was more into reading things. I was more into trying to discover and learn, and that just wasn't the atmosphere I was in. And mind you, this is a Catholic school. As I got older, it hit me more and more. And you've already said it yourself. Schools single out, hell, the American culture itself singles out the intelligent individual, the academic, the intellectual, and they give them a whole lot of disparaging names: nerds, geeks, spazzes, brainiacs, and so on and so forth. I mean, we've later on grown up, since we've realized that our intellect is, I don't care if this sounds arrogant, but since we've realized our intellect is vastly superior to the rest of the morons around us, we've taken these terms as a badge of honor. We call ourselves geeks now. Say, yes, I'm a nerd and proud of it, because we know we're able to do things with our brains. But the fact remains, they're still considered insults far and wide by the mainstream culture, and many of us grow up with a low sense of self-esteem because of this. I mean, we see people with far less brains a lot more popular. They seem to get a little bit farther. They're paid vast amounts more money than we do, unless we can get into a good computer science job or whatever. But usually academics or intellectuals tend to go more into teacher fields, and then they get let down by that because education's a joke. So it's a vicious cycle. I can go on and on and on about it, I'm sure, just like you can. But I've noticed that this went on in elementary school. This goes on in high school, definitely. High school is when it really hits home, because the jock will always be considered more important than the kid who actually knows how to read. But this spreads even into college, and this is when I was really appalled. These days, college is seen as one of two things by mainstream culture in this country. Either it's seen as something that you do to get a better job, or it's seen as a place to completely spaz out and party until your 4 years are up and then you're thrust into the adult world. And this is just a crime, because college was never supposed to be this. College is supposed to be of what they said it was. The ideal is college is supposed to be a place of continued education, higher learning. College was never supposed to be something that everybody was supposed to be shoehorned into to get a better job. College was something for the person who wanted to continue learning. It's a place for not just continuing to learn what's out there, but to add to the list of to the vast amounts of human knowledge that we've accumulated over the centuries. It's a place of continued experimentation in terms of the sciences, in mathematics, engineering, you name it. It's a place where we continue to research. Philosophy, we're supposed to continue advances in the mind, how to advance our society, how to advance our culture. This is what college was for. This is where the debates happen, where the experiments happen, where technology continues to build. So many things, like we hear of surveys, we hear of science and medication reports, we hear of all these things happening. Many of them come from colleges, at least the good ones, a few good ones that are left that are almost impossible to get into because of the vast amount of money that they continue to require in order for us to get into them. And even in these great colleges, students just go over there, especially the rich kids, they go over there just to party, they pay for their degree, and then they leave. And then the more lower level colleges are seen just as places for you to get a job. Before, it was after you left high school that you were ready for the workforce, which even in this day, if you think about it, you are. You said it yourself. And it's something that even a teacher in high school told me. I swear, a teacher in high school, later on a night school course, another teacher told me the same thing. Colleges are exactly that, meat grinders. They are made, no, not colleges, high schools are made specifically, especially public ones, simply to form you and mold you to be another cog in the machine of society. You're just there to be another productive member. Taught just enough intelligence to work the machines, but not enough intelligence to question what's around you. You're not taught to think there. I mean, look at the way they do it. You're structured in rows and seats. Got to constantly walk in lines. Everything is regimented in time periods, half an hour time period, hour time period, the way it would be if you were working at a job. Lunch period is this long. This class is this long. Study is this long. And you're given things to memorize, not to learn. You're not taught to think critically. I noticed that the classes that I really did well in and really enjoyed were the ones where the teachers actually engaged their minds, rather than the ones where they just simply gave us a sheet of papers and said, memorize this for the test on Friday. You know, real teachers are what inspired me. But we don't get this in high school, and we're beginning to see this in colleges as well. In fact, this has been a plague in colleges for some time. And they've just gone downhill. They're no longer the places of higher learning that they were supposed to be. They're now just places where you're supposed to go to get a better job. That's what they're sold as. So you have a whole lot of jokers who go to college, and when they get out, you can tell their minds are barely worth the piece of paper that supposedly they've earned. I mean, at my job, sometimes I'm bumping into people who say, I've got this and that degree, but then when I talk to them, I realize they've barely retained any of the knowledge that they supposedly learned there. And I didn't even finish college, and yet sometimes I'm able to tell them something that they go, really? I didn't know that! And I'm saying something that's part of their major, and I didn't even take the course. Go figure. My 10 minutes is almost up, but I agree with you that school in particular has been geared mostly toward taking the intellectual and separating them from the rest of society and hammering them and lowering them down, making them feel worthless so that they don't do anything to improve society. Because the intellectual, if you notice, is the one who takes a good look around and realizes, you know, this place is fucked up. You know, our leaders are corrupt. The system doesn't work. We need to, you know, find a way to improve things. But unfortunately, since schools don't seem to, a friend of mine in the background, because these schools are weeding them out and crushing them, of course society is going to crumble. Of course the country is going to fall apart. Because the people that we need to help lead things in the right way are looked down upon and frowned upon. And this starts as early as childhood in school. Will we be able to fix it? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Well, I hate to end this on a negative note, but that's how I felt. Again, I appreciated the response, and that was a really cool. I really enjoyed this tale, even though it was two horrid tales that happened to you in childhood. But they definitely opened your eyes. I mean, it definitely. I guess if you didn't have those experiences, then you couldn't have seen what was going around. So I guess it was a blessing in disguise to use those terms. I'm not religious, just using that term. Man, I'm really going past the 10 minutes, so I guess I'll catch you in another vid. Comment if you want, or you can add more to it. And look forward to hearing more of your stuff soon. Catch you later, Kevin. Bye.